systems. So welcome to the session, everybody, and just have your pen and your journal to take some notes and do some personal analysis for yourself. Some of the things act like a reminder, some will be new, some you will see that, hey, I need to pay attention to this some more in order to be more successful and to build a more sustainable career. So what I want to share with you is I like to call it the Olympian quest. The Olympian quest. 5 elements formula to build incredible, sustainable success. For those who follow sport, Olympics is one of the most globally incredible, powerful sports. And the mindset that you need to play a local competition, you cannot take the same mindset to the Olympic Games. I have created time to follow documentaries about top athletes that prepare for the Olympic Games. And one thing that I have noticed about these athletes is there is a particular mindset and attitude and character that they have as far as the quest is concerned. Do you know what it means to win a gold medal in the Olympics? Do you know what it means to win a silver or a third place position in the Olympics? Is one of the most toughest thing to do, because at the Olympic Games, every athlete is bringing their best game. Every athlete is coming with the mindset and the hunger to win. And it is the same with life, especially career-wise and business-wise. There is nobody who goes into business to be a loser. There is nobody who goes into career to be an average performer or to be a failure. In the last couple of 6, 7 months, I've been traveling across the US, across Europe, and across Middle East. And all I see is hungry people, people that desire to be very successful. I myself, I'm on a quest. I refuse to be average. I refuse to die normal. I refuse to die as an average normal person. No. There is everybody that is producing results. They have this thing I like to call the Olympian quest, because they'll desire to produce. If you follow Olympic Games, you will notice that in most countries across the world, when the Olympic athletes come back, it is always a state ceremony to welcome them back, especially the athletes that won medals during the Olympic Games. It's always a state ceremony. In some countries, when Olympic medalists die, they give them a state burial, right? So there is a particular quest, there's a particular mindset and attitude that these people get to have. And we can also pick this. I have picked this. Sometimes, see, I like to study high performance in any industry. I like to understand anybody in any industry. When anybody performs at the highest level, whether in music, in sports, in business, in whatever, I just like to understand the mindset, the character, the attitude, the resources, all of that they use to get there. Then I begin to see how I can use them in my own life so I can produce better results. Okay? Going for Olympic Games is like going to war. Because if you mess up at the games, the athletes from another country is going to take the gold or the award. And the goal of living is to win. If you are in this life and you don't have the intentions, don't have the expectations to win, then there is even no way you're going to have fun or you're going to enjoy living, because you are definitely going to just be average or to just be sad or be bored or be hopeless. But people that are full of hope, faith, and a clear future, they have a goal to win for themselves, to win for their family, to win for their community, to win for their country. Why not to win for the glory of God? So let us break into this and study something. And to teach this, I want to show you this particular figure. Again, as I said, this is something that if you understand what I'm going to teach to you today, see, your career will take a U-turn because of the things that you will start doing. Now, follow me carefully. In the journey of success, there are 5 core things. There are 5 core things that you need to have. Now, there are some people that live this life full of confusion. And if you see a confused person, something is definitely certain. Because you don't just succeed by being one. It is not the key to success. There are keys to success. It is not one way to success. There are ways to success. That is why the more you know about different things, the high chances you have to succeed. And for you to have the complete Olympian quest to success, there are certain things to understand. Now, many people get to operate from the confusion point because they have skills, incentives, resources, and action plan. And one box is missing. The box that is missing is vision. If you have the skills, if you have the motivation or the incentive, you have the resources, you have the action plan, and you lack the vision, you will be confused. That is why the most important thing in the journey of success, in the journey of career and business success, is for you to have a very clear career and business vision for yourself. It is the same like an Olympic athlete. You are going for the Olympic Games, you are going to have a very clear vision. My vision is for me to come out on top as the best athlete in my discipline and win the gold medal. That is the vision. One of the most important things that you can have for yourself is a well-documented career and business vision. I'm not saying it should be perfect, because sometimes when they're able to write their vision for the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, they're like, I don't know where to start. How do I know what I'll be in 3 years to come? If you even ask that question, it means you don't even know where you are right now. Because if you know where you are right now, you can actually start anticipating, oh, this is where I would like to be. This is the kind of picture I want to have of myself 5 years from now, 10 years from now. For example, when I used to be in that small town village called Kumbo, for example, when I used to say, oh, you know what, I'm going to travel the world, I'm going to go to Europe, I'm going to go to America, I'm going to travel, do the things I love to do. I had no idea how I was going to get there, but I had a picture. I said, oh, you know what, by 2025, I want to do this. 2020, I want to do this. 2030, I want to do this. So one of the ways, and one thing about vision that you need to understand is your vision comes from your purpose. It is difficult to establish a clear vision without your purpose. So vision is birthed from purpose. So to avoid confusion in the journey of success, as a professional and as an entrepreneur, you need to have a very clear vision. Because a confused professional will never produce incredible results. A confused entrepreneur will never build a powerful legacy as far as business is concerned. So it's possible to see people around and they are confused because they lack the vision. It's possible to see a confused, skillful person. It's possible to see a confused, motivated, or incentive-driven person. It's possible to see a person, somebody that has all the resources, all the money, all the equipment, but they are confused. It's possible to see somebody with an action plan and they are confused. They know what to do, but they don't know where they are going to. The next thing that you find people going through is anxiety. And anxiety is caused by not knowing what to do, lacking the ability to produce results. Show me an anxious person. Show me somebody who's full of anxiety. I'll show you somebody who has a beautiful vision, but lack the capacity and lack the skills to do it. So they are always just full of anxiety, anxious, highly full of anxiety. You know, people that have dreams. So that, oh, I want to go to countries. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to run a business. I want to do this. They have these beautiful dreams in their head, but every day they are going nowhere. So the only anxiety is driving them. They are just full of anxiety. You see? So the best way that you can combat anxiety is for you to pay the price to develop the right skills. Let me tell you something. One of the most powerful things that will transform your life is your willingness to pay the price to develop mastery. And show me somebody who is a master, I will show you somebody who has the right skills. So if you're here and you're always full of worry about your future, you're always full of fear about your future, you're always full of, you just feel confused and tired about your future, check the quality of your skills. You know where you want to go, but you don't know what to do to get there. You lack the capacity to do the things that you need to do to get there. Or you see somebody doing what you desire, but you don't even know what step to take. That's why if you see, I always say, if you see a mentor, you see a role model, it's not about asking them to give you something. It's about you studying them closely to know what they know and how they're doing it so you can start doing it. There are many people that have mentors and they're full of anxiety. I always say something funny. You have a mentor, you don't read from him, you don't buy his book, you don't attend his trainings, don't do stuff, you're full of anxiety because you will never develop the skills that he has. If you don't study him, you don't observe him, you don't learn from him, you don't grow the way he's growing. So there are so many professionals and entrepreneurs full of anxiety. They have beautiful dreams, but they don't know how to get there because they lack the skills. The next people are people that are full of resistance because they lack the incentives to get things done. They are not motivated. They are not inspired. If you have a clear vision, you have the right skills, and nothing about life is driving you, nothing about life is motivating you, you are not going to achieve anything. You will not achieve your quest. Everybody who has ever achieved anything worthwhile has certain incentives driving them. What is your incentive? Your incentive could be your family. Your incentive could be your background. You are coming from a poor family and the only option you have is to succeed. Your incentive could be that you want to contribute and build a better society. Whatever, everybody who has ever made it to the top has incentives driving them. They are fully motivated. I prefer to use the word incentives than motivation. The next people that you will see are frustrated people. This is where many people will fall. You know those people that say that I have a business idea, but I don't have money to start. Frustrated people. Resources. If you have the vision, you have the skills, you have the incentives, you have the action plan, without the resources to get things done, you will face frustration. And in recent, it is not the lack of resources that make people frustrated. It is the lack of resourcefulness. It is the lack of their ability to be driven enough and to think creatively to find ways to make their vision and their dream come to pass. So if you have the vision, you have the skills, you have the incentives, you have the action plan, and you are frustrated because you lack the money and the equipment, then you need to start thinking creatively on how to get the resources. That is your responsibility. If you are in this place and you keep waiting for who will come give you resources, you will always remain frustrated because human beings will always disappoint you. And in my experience, the best way to get the right resources is for you to start. And resources will come meet you on your way. Many people have remained frustrated year in and year out because they keep saying, oh, I have this business idea. I don't have money to start. I don't have nobody to do to give money. All of that. What have you done in a resourceful way to get the resources? What have you done in a resourceful way? Again, as I said, in life, it is not the lack of resources that make people frustrated. It is the lack of resourcefulness. It is the lack of the ability to do what you can do to get the required resources to go to where you are. Resourcefulness means waking up and figuring it out no matter the condition, thinking creatively to make it out, to get the resources you need to achieve the dream that you have, to achieve that quest that you have in your heart. For example, I had a choice when I could not be able to go to university, right? Or my mom was able to pay my fees and all of that. I had a choice to be frustrated. Oh, nobody to pay my school fees. All right, that's it. I'm not saying I knew what it means to be resourceful, but I thank God for it. I could become so resourceful that I decided to start go do car wash, Okada, commercial motorbike riding, whatever, working in building construction to raise money to pay my fees. That is resourcefulness. Doing whatever I can with what I have to get the resources I need to fund the dream I have. That is resourcefulness. You may want to do something big, but you don't have all the money. Maybe you have little amount of money. How can you start from there to raise the money you need to start doing what you want to do? You can decide to be a primary school teacher, which is not your end game, is just a plan to get to where you want to go, resourcefulness. You can venture into buying and selling whatever you can buy and sell so you can get the commission and the profit, so you can raise the real resources you need to get to where you're going to. And then in the process, you can be able to get help. Like, for example, in business, it is easier to raise capital from external sources when you have started a business than to try to raise capital with an idea. So frustration comes a lot when there is the lack of resources. And there is double frustration when the person involved is not resourceful enough. Let me tell you something. You can do the job that you hate just to raise the resources to do what you like to do and become successful. Nothing wrong with that. The worst frustration is when you lack the skills and you lack the resources. There are many young people in this gap. They lack the skills and they lack the resources. Their own frustration is terrible. Terrible. Because even somebody with the skills can monetize their skills and raise money to do what they want to do. The next set of people are those who you can call them false starts. These are people that never start anything. They have the vision, they have the skills, they have the incentives, they have the resources, but procrastination will kill their destiny. No action plan, no deadlines, nothing. They are just, but they want to do it though, but they are not actually doing it. False starters. And before they know it, they can enter to the place of frustration. because the resources can wear out. Before they know it, they can get into anxiety because their skills have worn out, or the industry has outgrown them and their skills are no longer relevant. Or they can even get into confusion because they lose the vision. They are no longer motivated by the vision. That's the danger of being at the false starting zone. If you are listening to me, one of the most important things to do is to have an action plan. One thing I don't joke with personally is I have an action plan. I can write an action plan for something that I don't know I'll get the money to go. I prefer to have an action plan and not be able to do it because I lack the resources to do it. But I prefer to have an action plan that I'm following with dates and expectations in that action plan. I always say that having an action plan is a sign of faith. You take it to God, God can begin to arrange it. I prefer you have an action plan, take it to God and let God say, no, this is not the plan I have for you. This is the plan, this is the right plan for you. I prefer that. Many of us have never written it down. What is your action plan for this month of March? What is your action plan for this month, for this year, for the next 5 years? I have my action plan. I knew exactly that between last year and this year, I will be between Europe, America, and the Middle East. I will just be a few steps in Africa. I knew it. It was an action plan, and God blessed it. Simple. And when you're writing an action plan, stop questioning how will I do it? Especially like 3 years action plan, 5 years action plan. Your job is to write and make sure you wake up each day and do your best towards that plan. That is your job. You and I don't know tomorrow, but we can plan for it and make good use of today. You can write things in your action plan that will need 100 million 2 years from now. You have no idea you'll get it now, but that's not your job. Shut the hell up. Write it and start today. When that 2 years will come, you never know where you'll be in 2 years from now. Your job is to have it. Stop living life out of guesswork. For those who are in the mentorship program, those always value. We may not have many mentorship sessions that we normally do, but you see the weekly activities that you send about what you do for the week, it remains one of my most valuable things that I read every mentee with. Because as long as you are doing that, I know no matter what, you are progressing. No matter what, you are conscious. No matter what, you know that there is something that you have to do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis to advance. And that is how you end up making it big in life. So when you lack your action plan, you will never really get to start. Therefore, if your Olympian quest is supposed to be complete, then it's supposed to have all of these 5 boxes. You are not supposed to have a black box in your life. If you are going to shine the light and live your passion, live your purpose, manifest your dreams, go do the things you desire to do, you are not supposed to have any of these black boxes in your life. And these black boxes must not be on, they must be consistently growing, all of them. So for your life to experience change and remain successful, you must have vision, skills, incentives, resources, and action plan. This is the foundation that no matter what, you must not play with it. Year in, year out, is my vision clear? I always revisit my vision every December. Every December, I revisit my life vision. I revisit my life plan. How far? My skills, I don't joke with it. I am always upgrading. There is no year I have entered without doing a new certificate program. I have consciously grown to have my doctorate degree because it was always part of my plan. You are supposed to always upgrade. Incentives. I always have what is motivating me. And one thing about life is as life grows, new motivation comes. Just something like a side, which is important. The way I'm motivated now, or the way I started being motivated to become a better man and become more successful when my daughter came, is not the same way I used to be before she came. That's motivation. So incentives could come from different areas. We all can be motivated or be driven by different incentives. But as long as these incentives are there, we will always be driven. Next, resources. This is very important. I wrote something down and I said, if you have ever, I was thinking of this mostly for like a Cameroon context, but those in other countries can break that. I was writing something down today or yesterday, and I was saying that any young person who has ever made 500,000 francs and up to 1 million, and you ever go back to become poor, then you are responsible for your failure in life. If you have ever made 500,000 francs, let's say average $1,000, right? Let me just say you have generally made $1,000 ever in your life, and you ever go back to be poor again, then something is wrong. That $1,000 is a sign that you can become rich. It's just that you do not know how to keep the money and how to multiply the money. You do not know how to keep the money and how to multiply the money. And the secret to consistently remain successful is the resources. Is the resources. You need the right resources. You need to know the right equipment. You need to know the right online platforms, digital tools. You need to know how to use computers, new apps, artificial intelligence, whatever. All of these things are resources. You can become irrelevant and a failure because you lack the resources. And of course, action plan. Action plan. Always have your action plan. Personally, for me, I always have my daily action plan. I have my weekly action plan. I have my monthly action plan. And I have my yearly action plan. And at the beginning of the year, I roll out my yearly action plan. And from there, I begin to pull out my monthly action plan. I begin to pull out my weekly action plan and my daily action plan. I have taught you guys in this community over and over. You never build an incredible life out of guesswork. You cannot just expect to have a great life. Just wake up and just doing things anyhow. Wake up anyhow. Wake up anyhow. No. Even God has plans. I know the plans I have for you. He had a plan for mankind. Jesus was part of God's plan. For those mentees who are doing a mentorship activity program, don't relent. It is one of the best things that you can give yourself. So if you are going to change and keep on growing, make sure that you are light. All these boxes, you are always shining the light in these boxes. Anytime you feel that things are going down, come and check. How am I doing in these boxes? Sometimes your finances are going down because your skills are no longer there. You are no longer current with your skills. Sometimes your finances or your career or your business are going down because you are no longer working hard. Hard work comes under incentives. Or maybe you don't have the right resources. You may need to get the right tools, the right equipment, the right amount of money. You may need to get the right networks, human resources. All of that comes there. Sometimes things will not be going well because you are not making good use of every day that comes your way because you don't have the right action plan. You are not making good use of every minute and every hour that you have because you are just doing things haphazardly. When you see a movie you watch, your social media, you are stuck on TikTok for 2 hours. Facebook, you are just scrolling up and down for hours. Nothing, no concrete. You are not taking productive actions. And immediately your life lacks productive actions, you start losing results that can change your life. So you need to be conscious of these things. As long as these areas of your life are up to date and you're keeping them in perspective and you're pushing ahead, you're upgrading, you're stretching yourself, you're making sure that year in, year out, you are not remaining the same, I can categorically tell you that your career will flourish, your business will flourish, your finances will flourish, and you'll be more happy because you are living your passion, your purpose, and of course, your dreams. For many of you, this is a call to action to go do a self-analysis. How clear am I regarding my career or my business vision? Let me look at my skills. In this industry, I desire to succeed in this industry. Do I really have the right knowledge and the skills? If not, what core skills do I need to learn? Where do I need to go? Who do I need to talk to? Start taking actions. Sit down and ask, what are my incentives? What is really motivating me? What is that thing that is very critical for me? My core motivation in this life include 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to do a self-analysis. Know exactly what is your highest motivation. Incentives keep you going when you feel like giving up. Incentives gives you hope for tomorrow. Incentives will tell you, hey, if you give up, you are going back to nonsense. Then resources. How do I need to manage the money I'm making right now? What percentage do I need to save? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? Let me look at the tools. Do I need a good laptop? Do I need a good phone? Let me look at my network, human resources. You are looking at all resources all around, from people to money to equipment to tools, all resources. Where am I lacking? Who do I need to get closer to? Who do I need to know? Then your action plan. You don't play with this. This is your game plan is very important. You wake up, when you wake up in the morning, you don't guess what. If you slap me at any time, I'll tell you how my day runs from morning to evening. Clearly, I know it's what I'm doing at a particular time, because that is my greatest tool when it comes to being productive consistently and producing key results. As many of you know, I recently published 6 books globally. And I've had a lot of feedback. Like, wait, how do somebody actually bought all the books just to study and make sure that the books are good? I said, what? Wait, how do you write good books like this and 6 books like this? How do you do that? The power of action plan guarantees productivity. If my action plan says that, hey, Joybert, every day, just spend 1 hour on a book, 1 hour and write a chapter, half a chapter, 1 hour and write 300 words, 400 words, I will just respect it. That is what the game plan says, and my job is to do. My game plan is so serious that if I open my calendar, you see, if I want to watch a movie, when I see a movie that is out and I want to watch it, I'll go look at my calendar, maybe 2 weeks from now, and I fit it there, okay, watch a movie on Saturday, 3 p.m. to 4:45, and I'll fit it there. You are doing things at the right time, and you are conscious of every other thing that is important. If you have family, family is very important. When you're drawing your game plan, know when to feed your family. Don't just do things haphazardly, carelessly, up and down. You are losing your most important resource, which is your time. Nothing makes you make good use of your most important resource like your action game plan. I want to tell you again, if you are going to build a sustainable life, I don't care if you are starting from the bottom, I don't care where you are right now in your life, where you are right now financially, career-wise, business-wise. If you get this game plan, if you get this right, you get all these boxes right, and take the right actions in all these areas, give yourself 3 months, you see signs of a shift in your life. They do it consistently for 6 months, you see a big shift. Be for 12 months, you see a big shift. I always say something funny. There's nothing like last year was my best year, or 2018 was my best year. What happened? Why is this year not the best year? Every new year should be your best year. You can intentionally, predictably create a better year every year. Am I saying that challenges will not come? No, challenges will come. Am I saying that difficulties and bad news will not come? No, they will come. But no matter what is happening, you know that you are moving forward. You keep doing things to rise forward. You know that God is there for you. You know that it's not just you. There's a higher power at play with you. And of course, in all of these boxes, your spiritual life is critical. When you're connected to your source, I wrote something in the group the other day and I said the most dangerous human being on earth is the one that commands intelligence and spiritual power. That person can achieve almost anything. When you command spiritual intelligence and you command the human intelligence, there's a lot you can do. So to conclude in all of this, make sure you don't joke with your spiritual life. You need spiritual power to achieve certain things or to keep certain things. I was quoting somebody and I was telling him, look, a guy took me out for coffee. And I said, I want to pick up my mind for 2 hours. Okay, cool. Wow. Then I started teaching something. We're talking about wealth creation. I talk about money, making money, wealth, and all of that. And I said, look, you see, God is very important in all of this equation. You can use wisdom and principles and human intelligence to make wealth and make riches. But you need power to stay wealthy. That's why people go to cultists, people go to occultic kingdoms and do spiritual stuff here and there, darkness and satanic stuff here and there, because you need spiritual power to stay in certain places. Have you not seen people that have all the money, but the money cannot give them good health? They have gone to all the hospitals, but good health they don't have. But when you are in Christ, the Bible says, by his stripes you are healed. You can decree and speak against sickness out of your life. Have you not seen people have money? They go die in accidents. But you know, there are people who have died because of mistakes and carelessness or because of lack of spiritual intelligence. You know, you can go, there are many people that have received prophecy that you want to travel, don't travel today. Postpone your trip. And maybe the bus they plan to use or the plane they plan to use had an accident and people died. That's where spiritual power comes in. No matter what you do, in all of this, make sure that you're connected to your source, because it is your source that will give you, that will keep you. That's what the Bible says. It is God that giveth us strength to make wealth. Because when God empowers you, there is nothing the enemy can do, and there is nothing a system can do. Will the enemy try? Yes. But you have a higher power. Because the Bible says we have been made kings unto God, and we have the authority to reign on earth. So you understand that, and you can enforce that kingly authority that you have, and you begin to win. All right, everybody. That is it for today's session. I can get a few questions, and then we round up.